So he assures him that he doesn't really want him working, and he needs to do things more advanced for his life, because he have the skills where he doesn't have to be a part of the street life. And so he said, so then the scene veers to JP, where he was at home, and he was talking with his dad, and he informed his dad that he called Kate Egan, his mom, in New York to inform her that Miriam had passed. And he was like, what happened? She hung up. So the disappointment was there that he didn't get to hear from his mother any words of, oh, there's not a day that gone by, or I've always wanted to call you. I'm so glad to hear from you. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that Miriam passed. Where can, there were no questions. It was just immediate drop of the call. And so that was very disheartening for JP. And at that moment, in conversation with his father, he told him, and that's why I need to get Darnell. I need to find my son. Now, prior to that, no, that'll go veer at the end. And so at this point, Tommy then walks into this warehouse space, which is another entity separate from where D-Mac is counting the money, and there's the safe and the money machine. And he tells him at that time, did you know that a $100 bill has more germs than a toilet seat? And I think I have heard that myself. But when we think about all the germs that's touching, people's hands and pockets and so forth, yeah, it can be very germy. And so, like I said, they were having a good little banter there. And so the scene veers where Tommy now enters into this workspace with Liliana. And she says, are you okay? You look like shit. I'm in tune with shit. I just like Liliana. Liliana's in tune with everything. She own it. And so she says that she's going up north to the Walter yard and so forth, so that she can make a drop. And then she says, but because you look like shit, do you want a hug? Do you want a hug? Or what? And so she just has this cute little funny satire, just these little one-liners and one phrases that she gives. She said, do you want a hug? He's like, nah. And so that was really interesting. I always like to see when he and Liliana interact. Now, Claudia is at the club, in the car, posted up, on the scene, parking lot, watching. So she's watching a young lady. She's going into a club, and she's, passing off the product and so forth that they do, I guess, on the club scene versus the street scene. They kind of maneuver the product and so forth, and Claudia is spying on her. And then the young lady gets back in the car with Claudia, and Claudia is all aroused, and they begin to kind of show affection and things like that. And so all of a sudden, Claudia gets a phone call and tells her, get the F out. Instantly. Just get on out. And so the girl was like, huh? Like, that was rude. We was in the middle of wooing. And so from there we see that Claudia don't be bothered. She get up out of here. No. She turns it on and she turns it off. So I like Claudia's role too. She knows how to play her part. Turn it on and turn it off. And so she enters into, she goes home to her father's house. And there she's met because she receives a call that her brother Vic had been shot. So again, this scene goes to the aftermath of the shooting from Vic and Gloria. Now we get to see Vic has been discharged from the hospital home. And he's now on the Flynn family's grounds. So he's sitting by the pool and he's drinking him some brown liquor. I guess he's trying to numb the pain from the loss of Gloria and so forth. And then Claudia, she comes and she meets with him and they're talking and how are you feeling and this and that. And he lets her know it was Tommy Egan. Claudia, what? Tommy? She just dumped. How the hell he get all up in these, like, what? Now, of course, we all know that Claudia and Tommy have their own rapport because, of course, they're doing business on their own with the Dahlia, which is in secret. And so it's just so like she trying to contain her composure, but definitely express herself to let him know that's not his style. And he would have gotten you knocked off long before today. I don't think he had anything to do with it. And of course he says, well, you're on his side and that you're probably effing him, having sex with him and so forth. And then so the father then he approaches and Vic just gonna blurt out. Well, I'm like, why is she blurting? Like he just, oh Lord. See, that's why Tommy let you make it, because he already know you ain't thorough anyway. You just fair weather, But here comes the father, and he instantly just gonna blurt out. Claude, she doesn't believe that it was Tommy. She doesn't believe it. Why would you do that? That could have been a personal conversation. So now it's out in the open that Father Flynn and Vic believes that it was Tommy. Claude disagrees, and then she's taking the turn for the rear and said, listen, he's smart enough to know. So here we find that Father Flynn has taken advantage of this whole situation. In the hospital, Vic expressed that Tommy came to the house and told me that you wanted him, Gloria, gone, and gave me the keys and told me to take the back roads. And see, when Claudia was there, she asked him, well, did you do it? He said, no. Well, it looked like to me, you ain't followed the directions. But see, Vic ain't got good sense. Vic sitting up over there, trying to parlay and do it the way he want to do it. So, here we find that Claudia is trying to hold it down to, like, man, I don't think that's him. But for the most part, them as a family, they reconcile their past differences for the sake of family. And they agree to move forward with finding Tommy and letting him know. Well, finding Tommy so that they could rectify this whole situation. They got to rectify. So that's what that's about. And of course, Father Flynn told her this is not the time to be sitting on the fence. Either you're down with us or you're not. This ain't the time to be sitting on the fence. And of course, she goes along with the family.